technically so reliable. How pleased are you with how your serve is tracking heading into the semi-finals tomorrow?
Yeah, really happy with the last two matches. It's a bit challenging with the sun, and but finding a way. And yeah, for now the server is really helping. So hopefully I can continue like this.
And I have to say, I love your attitude on court. You're one of those players that, regardless of the score, you wouldn't really know kind of what's happening. You have a great demeanour. You're very cool, calm, and collected. Is that how you are off the court as well?
Yeah, pretty calm outside of the court too. Of course, can be fun too with the close people, but yeah, I'm just trying to not show too much frustration if something is not going well. But yeah, I think it's just my character.
And lastly, you do play again tomorrow. Give us a little bit of an insight into what you will do between now and the semi-finals tomorrow.
Well, it's probably too boring because I'm just gonna do my recovery, watch my opponents, talk with the team, and yeah, try to do my best tomorrow for sure.
Well, congratulations. Go and enjoy this moment, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Everyone, Elena Rybakina.
Keep it right here. More from Melbourne and the 2026 Australian Open when we come back.
So, Jessica, I want you to show both Sophie and Kate what I just taped, because I'm at Elaine's house, and you heard her voice twice. She volunteered knowing the difficulty it has taken place with the two of us. And as a mother, a grandmother, and Elaine is a great-grandmother. Say hello to Elaine. Don't hold it. Just say hello. This is Elaine. Say hello. Use words, Elaine.
Hello.
More than that, just say, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
See, she was a court reporter, and everything is legal to her. And nobody is willing to do what I do, sweetheart. In order to get us out of the trauma of living life, Elaine's husband died how long ago?
4.5.
4.5 years ago. The love of her life. She went into a form of shock, which happens. Yes, they had a great relationship, but they had ups and downs too. One child together who lives in Ohio. His name is Paul. How old is Paul?
38.
38. How many children? They have 4 children. He marries a Catholic. Bam, bam. They are the cutest, happiest kids on the planet.
There they are.
There they are. Okay? You wouldn't believe what Elaine, I call her Laney, based on that was the way that Steffi Graf, Seinfeld, now, see, somebody has to call in the middle of everything. Seinfeld, Elaine in Seinfeld, is Laney. Have a good day, sweetheart. Now, that got turned off. That's a spammer. You see, that's how Satan works. He's come to kill, steal, and destroy. We're all having a nice time, and then suddenly confusion hits. The Bible says God has not given you the spirit of confusion, but power, love, and a sound mind. Now, the things that would happen between you and your mother, whom you called mother or mom, and dad, the fighting that went on with us had to do with the minute that I would be doing something trying to get her attention, she was looking all over the place. Why? She's a mother. Now you are a mother. Me, a man in construction, having real difficulty surviving, fighting. You were there when my hand went through that glass door. I didn't even know you were there. I fell into the cement. The next door neighbor up the hill, his name was Jim, came running down and put a tourniquet. He heard the scream. You were traumatized by that. I know it. The 2 boys were, you said, in the bathtub. You couldn't even open the door, or your mother must have come out and got you, and then, called 911. And the funny thing is, which wasn't very funny, they sent the ambulance with the next door to us was the fire department. They take all that time to back a stupid fire truck because of the law, and they couldn't get into the driveway until the ambulance got there. And then they took me up on Route 7, was where your brothers were born, at the Danbury Hospital. They got caught in traffic. There was nothing they could do. They just joked. I was still in somewhat pain. They had put me in, they had stabilized me. Then when they got me to the Danbury Hospital, the minute that they wheeled me into the surgery, which I had to be awake for, they shot me with drugs, and I was like in heaven. But what began to happen in the operation, the doctor that was doing the operation, he wasn't a hand doctor, he was an emergency doctor, right? He starts flirting with the nurse. I'm like, something's wrong with this. But I didn't care. I was in drugs. I was like, oh, this is great. That was a 5-hour situation, and then he put me in the hospital. People were notified. Uncle Peter lived how far away? From in Darien, hour. Never came to visit me. Nobody came to visit me. Nobody that was close. You see, this is real dysfunction on me. Then on top of that, I took the bandage off. The bandage was taken off originally by me, and there was infection. I told your Aunt Kay about this, and she was abruptly horrified, and as an attorney, she wrote the proper letter, sent it to the doctor's office, no bill whatsoever, because of your aunt who helped you learn how to get out of jail when you got a DUI. Don't forget that you learned everything from me. You learned how to skate, you learned how to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. Remember, Alan thought you were really wealthy when he found out, are we playing the blame game here? No. That's why I record everything. Because my mother and father, your grandparents, you never knew my dad, would argue and argue and argue. Mother was always right, but she wasn't. Because she didn't have a good memory. And if she couldn't remember something, she just made things up. My brother Bill told the story at my mother's funeral. I found this out for the first time. She would tell the story about how he was dropped off at day camp, and mother dropped him off on the wrong day. And the poor little boy had to stay there the entire time, all day long, at the Hindley School Daycare facility. It was where we went to day camp. That was a school in the wintertime, in the fall and spring, but it was where we went to. So poor Billy, I can't believe that would happen. He gets up at the funeral and announces to everybody that he'd made that story up. That is the brother that gets mad at me when I try desperately to identify with him and help him. He said just 2 weeks ago, Logan, get off my back. I tell you things and I lie to you because you're really a buffoon and an idiot. Here I am praying for my brother who had open heart surgery, treating me this way. Uncle Peter does. Aunt Lauren does. They gossip and gossip and gossip and never return calls. You see, you are almost doing that yourself with me. You have got to understand, we go through everything in life, in pain. That's why we worship the Lord. Your Catholicism that was placed in you was on the right road. But then you were flipping out that anybody would be going to churches without masks on. That's why you took your communion with masks on. I believe from the very beginning, through the Wuhan lab, that Dr. Fauci and the Chinese were developing biological warfare to put people under masks because that was a repeat of history. I hope you can handle. Your father's really brilliant in politics and faith. The new book, Digging Ditches Because of Elaine, will be coming out soon, very soon. We're going to just publish it ourselves and just give it to people and then get their feedback. You need to know a lot more about your father's life. I love you very much. Bye-bye, honey.